The Big Bang Theory Season 4 episode review video. Before I get into that, though, pretty important, if you are caught up to the point where I am and rewatching or watching The Big Bang Theory, or you're just not entirely sure, then you definitely need to take the initiative and pay attention to the episode's title, which of course I'll mention as well as put in the description for you. If that happens to be the case and you're not caught up, it would be my recommendation that you don't watch this video any further to avoid any potential spoilers of funny moments that may or may not happen in this episode. This will be The Big Bang Theory Season 4, Episode 4. The title of this episode is called The Hot Troll Deviation. And this will be my review, reaction, recap. After just finishing watching the episode, Howard sees Bernadette at the Cheesecake Factory while the guys are having lunch, I believe. And it's actually the first time he has seen her since the breakup. So he decides to hide under the table. And then Howard, who has a vivid imagination, has a delusion with him and Katie Sackhoff, where Bernadette also shows up. And then he also has George Takei show up as well. So it's a pretty interesting imagination that Howard has. And he's talking to all these people that aren't really there while his mom's yelling, "Howard!" You know, the stuff that she does. And then Howard hasn't told Leonard about what happened with him and Bernadette and has no intentions of telling him. Sheldon won't let Raj have his own desk in Sheldon's office. And then Howard goes to visit Penny, knocks on her door 3 times, and has an audio recording of Sheldon to fool her, thinking it's Sheldon, because I don't know if she would have actually talked to Howard, because he is kind of creepy but funny. And Penny wonders why him and Bernadette broke up like everyone else. That's the question that we need answered. And Howard says that he let his World of Warcraft character have sex with another a troll on World of Warcraft, and that's why they broke up, which is the most ridiculous thing I've heard, but whatever. Sheldon wants Raj to get his new desk out of his office because he eventually let him do it, and this new desk is huge and doesn't need to be there. Raj just has it in there to piss Sheldon off, so he's annoyed, and it starts this war of sorts with Sheldon. And then Howard actually is able to have a meeting with Bernadette, or a lunch date or dinner date, whatever it was. And this was all about Howard not having sex, apparently. He's like, well, I mean, me and you aren't doing it. And she says, well, they could have had sex, but he didn't make a move. So Howard all this time never made a move to do that because he didn't think that's what she wanted, when if he would have made the move, she says it would have been something that would have happened. So Howard and Bernadette get back together. Yay! And then in the car, they start to make out with Katie Sackhoff and George Takei. There in the background, Katie Sackhoff's like, kiss her, make out, put tongue down her throat. And George Takei of Star Trek is like, no, move slower. And then Howard makes even more of a move. And Bernadette says that now that they're back together, she has to get to know him all over again. So they can't have sex now until she's comfortable with him, now that they're dating again. And then Sheldon makes a gas explode in his office, and Raj comes out with his hair really messed up, like super messed up, saying this is not over. And that is what ends this episode of The Big Bang Theory. So my score of this particular episode, I'm going to give it a 7.5 out of 10. I thought it could have been a lot more. Some of these episodes, I think they just like didn't have the moments that they could have had happen, but it was still good, still entertaining. My character of the episode, I'm actually going to give it to Howard Wolowitz in this particular episode. I think he certainly deserves it, and he certainly had a pretty big focus, especially with his vivid imagination with Katie Sackhoff and George Takei in there, with Bernadette showing up in that imagination, or that illusion, with his mom yelling, "Howard!" And then my Penny, who is in this episode, but she's going to take a couple episodes off pretty soon here. I'm going to get Penny based on how Penny looked, because that was one of the reasons why I watched The Big Bang Theory initially, is because of Penny, Kaylee Cuoco. I'm going to give Penny a 9 out of 10 in this particular episode. So you've heard me ramble long enough about what I thought about this episode. Now it's your turn. If you're a fan of The Big Bang Theory, or perhaps Young Sheldon, which I need to catch up on, make sure you smash that like button. If you want to share this across any of your social media platforms, or with just a person that you know that likes either of those shows, go ahead and do that. Don't forget to sound off in the comments section about what your thoughts are on this episode. What would you score the episode? Whom would be your character of the episode if you had to choose? And maybe your favorite moment. Or if you want to score Penny based off of how Penny looks in this episode, like I do, go ahead and do that. And of course, last but certainly not least, don't forget to hit that sub button. You're watching the video anyway. Subscribe to the channel, join the team, show your damn support, and be a part of something special. And JDev will return.